Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod review. And today, we're checking out a brand new, lore-friendly Revolver mod known as the Remington New Army Revolver and Carabine by, well, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it's on the screen now. This mod is going to add a new highly customizable revolver into the game that can be converted into a revolver rifle, a feature that we don't actually see too often in Fallout 4 modding, despite the fact that we do have a nice framework for revolver rifles in the game. There's even base animations for it. But even though we do have those nice vanilla animations, the author has decided to add their own unique custom animations to this revolver, since the new Army Revolver does have a very unique style of reloading that is featured pretty accurately here in the mod, which I do appreciate a whole lot. There's even a couple of different animations depending on if you're one-handing the weapon or using the rifle variant, and even a couple of different animations depending on which type of cylinder you choose, so that's pretty neat. If you actually want to get your hands on one of these revolvers, it'll be spawning out in the world after level 30. So you'll be able to find it on raiders, gunners, and vendors after level 30. So this is intended to be actually a late game revolver, something, again, we don't see too often. But its stats are based on the Western Revolver from the Nuka World DLC, so it makes sense that you're not going to find it till later, as it does sling out some pretty high damage. Speaking of damage, let's go ahead and check out the stats of this weapon so we can see exactly what you're getting when you first pick this thing up. So here we have the Remington New Army Pistol in its base configuration with no modifications and no perks. This thing has a base damage of 60, which is pretty crazy for the standard receiver. It is using 44 caliber rounds, has a fire rate of 5, a range of 119, an accuracy of 68, a weight of 5.1 pounds, and a value of 97 caps. When it comes to animations, this thing is actually pretty nifty with custom equipping animations, and of course firing and reloading, and some nice custom sounds, so I'll go ahead and let that play for you now. But we even have different animations for if you're using the rifle variant, which is pretty neat. And I believe the animations are even different if you use the snub variant of the pistol, so let's go ahead and try that too. As you can see, it's missing the little lever there that the other versions featured, so that's pretty neat. The attention to detail here is really, really nice when it comes to those reloads. Now then, when it comes to attachments, we do get a nice handful of options, some different variants of the weapon that we can make, including a really cool rifle variant that looks super ornate and pretty, but it is still a revolver, so don't expect anything too crazy. Let's go ahead and check out the attachments. Starting with the receivers, we have standard, hardened, powerful, and advanced, so just a nice standard increase of damage, nothing too crazy beyond that. The advanced receiver is going to give you a damage of 105 compared to the base of 60, so that is pretty nice. For barrels, we have the standard barrel, the snub barrel, the long barrel, and the carabine barrel, which is going to require the rifleman perk, since this is going to convert this into a rifle and make it actually use rifle perks rather than pistol perks. For grips, we have the standard pistol grip and the carabine stock, which will again allow you to convert this thing into a rifle. And then for sights, we only have a couple of options, and that is the standard iron sights here, a 4x scope, which is a see-through scope, so you can look straight down it and actually customize the reticle. And then we have the reflex sight here, which is an interesting choice. It's a bit modern for this pistol, but it is still nice to have the option. I would have expected something more like a NIDAR sight, but hey, at least we have something. There is also a section where we can swap out the quote-unquote magazines, where we have two options, the standard magazine option and the quote extra revolver. I'm not quite sure what the author means by that, and I can't exactly test it because whenever I select this option, it actually crashes my game to desktop. This is just a small bug, and I'm sure it's something that will be addressed and fixed, but sadly I cannot show this off right now. Additionally, if we throw on one of these sights like the 4x scope, it will open up more options from see-through scopes like the crosshair and dot, or we can choose a variety of different crosshair options that are all displayed on the right there. and then a handful of dot options as well. So you can customize this thing to be the exact reticle you want to use with this weapon, which is a nice little feature from see-through scopes. Now then, it is time, of course, for our damage test for today, and we'll be running 3 tests. One is going to be the basic version of the revolver with no perks and no attachments, but then we'll be testing out with a fully upgraded receiver, which is pretty much the only damage increase we can get out of this thing. And then we'll be testing it with the fully upgraded receiver and maxed out pistol perks, so we can see how this thing truly shines in the late game, which is where this is intended to be used. Let's go ahead and start with the base version of the revolver, aiming for the Deathclaw's weak point. Let's see how it does. And with 6 shots in, we're about halfway through the Deathclaw's health. With 1 miss to the weak point, we should be able to take it out with 1 more cylinder. And there we go. 6 shots perfect. That makes 12 total. So with a fully upgraded receiver, we should see something in the ballpark of 6 to 7-ish shots. Again, aiming for that weak point. Let's see how it does. And it turns out we did even better than that with only 5 shots. Not quite sure how the math works out since this is not double the damage, but hey, whatever. Now then, let's go ahead and try out a fully upgraded receiver and the maxed out rifleman perk, since this is a rifle, which by the way would be exactly the same as if you maxed out the pistol perks because they have very similar damage profiles. It doesn't change whether or not you're using a rifle, it just changes out the grip. Anyways, let's go ahead and test this thing out again with even more damage. This should put down the Deathclaw in like 3 shots. Let's see how it does. Maybe we should make that 2 shots. Go ahead and let him get back up and then put him back down. So yeah, that makes for a pretty powerful weapon in the late game, though after level 30 you're not going to be fighting too many regular Deathclaws. You'll be fighting things like Deathclaw Matriarchs and Alpha Deathclaws, so maybe it won't be too bad, but still, this is a pretty cool late game revolver. So yeah guys, that is the Remington New Army Revolver and Carabine mod, and since you made it all the way to the end of the video, let's go ahead and try to pronounce that mod author's name, Zigabuteriman. Yeah, good job, Zigabuteriman. Good mod. But yeah, if you want to try out this mod, it will be linked down in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to drop a rating. Consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this. Big shout out to all of my patrons for supporting every single video. And a very special thank you to Astro, Captain Chaos, Helljumper 2077, Indecisive Wolf, Jackie Noid, Moonlit Gamer, Feed, and YouthRC for joining that Tier 3 Patreon membership. You guys are so generous. If you want to check out Patreon, it will be linked down in the description below, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace!